What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about doing essentially a comparison between Spreadshirt and Zazzle. For those who don't know, maybe you guys have never tried Zazzle before. Maybe you've never tried Spreadshirt before. I'm willing to bet that you guys probably are more familiar with Zazzle than you are with Spreadshirt. I know we've spoken about Zazzle more than we have Spreadshirt on this YouTube channel. The cool thing about Zazzle and Spreadshirt, these are one of the two platforms and one of the very, very few platforms where a designer can create a design and a customer can customize that design. So that's actually a really, really special feature, guys. And when you're getting into print on demand, you're deciding what platform you want to start off with, maybe even what platforms you want to keep in your rotation on a daily basis. Maybe the idea of using Zazzle and Spreadshirt is something that's appealing to you. Now, the thing that's interesting about Zazzle is that you literally have, I'm going to say thousands of products. Obviously, it's not thousands, but it's over 1,000 products that you can edit and customize. From t-shirts to keychains to skateboards to, you name it, you can do it on Zazzle. Now, Spreadshirt, obviously, we're talking about a little bit different here. We're talking about t-shirts. We're talking about hoodies, hats, mugs, basically the products that you would think that are normal for a print-on-demand company is what you're getting when it comes down to Spreadshirt. You're getting, all kinds of garment wear, but in my honest opinion, it's a humble opinion, is that it's a little bit more limited compared to Zazzle. Now, am I saying that Spreadshirt is bad? Absolutely not. I don't want this to be misconstrued in any kind of way. Spreadshirt, just like every other platform, is a blessing to us as creators, as sellers, as business people. We want to make money. And the reality is any platform that allows us to do that will help out at the end of the day. Now, there are people who use these custom uploaders and they'll upload the same design on all platforms. But my opinion is that, and yes, that could work, and don't get me wrong, you'll make some money. But I think with platforms like this, you really have to go out of your way to create things that are a little bit more specific for these platforms to gain as much success as possible. I know that there are individuals out there, for example, who, let's just use Merch by Amazon, who they generate 6 figures a year on Merch by Amazon. But they take the uploaders and they use those same designs and they put them on other platforms. But because the platforms are so drastically different, they're making something like $5,000 for the whole entire year on another platform, or $2,000, $10,000, something so much smaller. And the reason why that is because a lot of times, at least from what I've seen, guys, is that people will prioritize one specific platform. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to, degrade anybody or put anybody down. I'm just here to explain the concept. So when you're getting into Zazzle, understand the energy, the time, the focus that you're going to put into it is going to be a little bit different than if you get into Spreadshirt. And also, not to mention, there's a lot more to Zazzle than there is to Spreadshirt. And I'm just going to be 100% honest. Because you have so many products and because the way you're allowed to arrange your stores on Zazzle, if you guys don't know, you can create an account on Zazzle with multiple different stores within your dashboard. And that's the pretty cool feature about Zazzle. With Spreadshirt, once again, it's a little bit different. It's a little more limited. There's less work there. Now, if I was to take, let's say, a Redbubble design, and I was to place that exact same design on Zazzle and on Spreadshirt, I could sit here and make the argument that I think it would be much more successful on Spreadshirt than it is going to be on Zazzle. Now, that's not to say anything's wrong about Zazzle, but once again, there are certain platforms where certain type of design styles just simply work. Zazzle and Spreadshirt do kind of require their own system. However, like I said, if I was to take a design from a third-party site, let's say Merch by Amazon, Redbubble, TeePublic, whatever, I take that design and I put it on both of these sites, Spreadshirt or Zazzle, I personally think it will have more success on Spreadshirt. But once again, if you do give yourself the right kind of focus for these specific platforms, each individually, they're bound to take off. It's just a matter of how much time can you devote. The hard thing that we're seeing is it's really hard to seize the moment because there's so much opportunity when it comes to print on demand. We've talked about Redbubble. We've talked about a little bit about Merch by Amazon. We've talked about Zazzle. We've talked about, and here we are talking about Spreadshirt. We're talking about TeePublic. We're coming out with a TeePublic course really soon. There's a lot of things associated with these different platforms. Now, let's talk about the tagging process for, let's say, Zazzle. Well, with Zazzle, your tagging process is going to be similar to that of any other platform, right? You have tags, a certain set of tags, and those tags get approved, and the design gets approved by the, I guess you could say, the employees of that platform. And those tags are essentially what control how you're being seen on the platform. Well, Spreadshirt is no different. When somebody creates a design, they add tags to describe that design or give characteristic to that design. And then what will happen is, and we can actually pull it up here, we could take that design, and there could be similar designs based on the certain set of tags. So I can go over here, I can look up the design details, and you can see here I have a certain set of tags here that are available to me. Now, the thing is with Spreadshirt and with Zazzle, the methods as to how you're going to be tagging is going to be different. Now, I'm not going to sit here and point out how to specifically tag on Zazzle or Spreadshirt, because we do have a Zazzle tagging course. And for those who don't know, I'll just go ahead and pull it up over here. autopilotpassiveincome.com, Zazzle tagging course, where we go through the proper way, in my opinion, to tag on Zazzle through my experience, right? Now, when you tag on Zazzle, something that I do want to say, and something that I want to make abundantly clear, that Zazzle is pretty much the direct opposite of how you would tag on a platform like Redbubble or TeePublic. It's completely the opposite. In fact, I've talked about this before, but I had a quick story with Zazzle, is that the very first month I've joined TeePublic, I had over 1,000 in income. The very first month that I joined Redbubble, I had about 500 in income. And then the next month after that, I had about 600, and then things went downhill because I got lazy. And I had Q4 Advantage. On Zazzle, completely different scenario here. On Zazzle, your tags are just as important as your designs. I've said this before with Redbubble, with TeePublic, things like that. You can make sales on Redbubble if you have okay designs and your tags are okay, but they're not that good. You can make some sales if your tags are really, really good, but your design is terrible. You can make a little bit of sales and maybe a very little bit of sales if you have really good designs, but your tags aren't that good. With Zazzle, you have absolutely no shot to make any sale if your design isn't good and if your tags aren't good. So that's going to be one of the things that really stands out to me with Zazzle. Zazzle, you really, really have to know what you're doing when it comes to Zazzle to gain some success. And the thing is with Zazzle has been around for a while, and there are some stores on Zazzle that are a lot more established than others. In fact, I've shown this example before. I think maybe I've shown it in the course. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a free YouTube video. There's a Marvel store on Zazzle, like by the company Marvel. We're talking Iron Man, Spider-Man, all that kind of stuff. They have less reviews than a regular seller like me and you on Zazzle. And the reason why is because there's a certain kind of demographic that kind of helps out. And we'll talk about this now. With Zazzle, a strong population of the consumers on Zazzle are female. With Spreadshirt, it's not as much. I mean, you do have males, you do have females, but it's a little more even than it is on Zazzle. Zazzle, it is much more female. It is much more female. Now, that could tell you a lot based on the purchasing decision of the product, right? With Spreadshirt, you can create a female-based product, right? Or a male-based product. And yes, I get it, guys. We're in 2022, and the lines have become blurred between male and female and all this kind of stuff, and I get it. But what I'm talking about is stereotypically what's male, what's female, right? If I create a product that's has flowers on it, let's just say, like or even a Wonder Woman shirt, right? Let's just use this Wonder Woman shirt. I wouldn't give this to my son to wear. I know it's 2022 and things are, changing, but I'm just saying if I had a son who was, let's say, in the first grade, I probably wouldn't give him this t-shirt to wear. I would give him like a Spider-Man shirt, Superman shirt, whatever. some people, and maybe they disagree with me, but I would give this to my daughter to wear maybe if she was in the first grade. Now, the point here is and I'm not trying to, kind of compare, the way people categorize themselves now. But what I'm trying to say is that stereotypes and demographics do matter. If you want to make money online, you have to understand that, you have to serve the group or the people that come to the platform. With Zazzle, since it's a lot female, you have to think in a female's mind, what would a female want to purchase? Now, let me explain what I mean here. A product that's sold frequently is wedding-type products. I'm just using as an example. So, the keychains for a wedding, T-shirts for a wedding, we could just even pull it up here, gifts for dad, gifts for grandpa. Who are buying these things? Females, right? It's a lot more rare that a male would come on Zazzle. Don't get me wrong, it's not impossible, but the ratio is about 7-3. For every 7 females, there's about 3 males on Zazzle, maybe even less than that. And, the data doesn't tell us who's a creator and who's not. I beg to differ that majority are females on both ends of the spectrum. But with that being said, that is going to make a difference with the products that you select. 100,000%. If you're going to create, let's say, a wedding card, let's say, an invitation wedding card, you want to keep in mind that a female is going to be the consumer of that, the purchaser of that 70% of the time. That will definitely play a part into how you're creatively working on your art. Now, once again, I know this is 2022 and, it's might be unethical or whatever the word is to talk about certain things around this aspect, but I'm just sharing, guys, the factual truth, without fooling you guys. The reality is that, reality is reality, and I don't know how else to say this without insulting anybody, but people based on gender do have buying predispositions. It's just a fact. If a female is buying something, we can predict what she's going to buy over what a male is going to buy 85% of the time. Now, once again, society is a little bit different. The lines have been blurred, etc. But I don't even want to touch on that because this is not some sort of ethical, debated kind of channel to debate these kind of things. It's not of my interest. With Spreadshirt, once again, you got a mix of consumers here. And you got a mix of consumers that are buying for different groups of people. Now, with that being said, the age group that is going to purchase from Spreadshirt is going to be slightly younger than it is on Zazzle. When I say slightly, it's a little bit of significant difference. Once again, the individuals on Zazzle are looking for a lot of occasions, a lot of different special moments in life. The weddings, the birth of a baby, birthdays, things like that. With Spreadshirt, it's not really much of an occasion, but it's more of a experience, a concept, an idea, like, for example, if you're creating t-shirts, and I'm just using an example, but the whole Ukraine thing, stand up with Ukraine, peace, gamer shirts, like things that are, younger in demographic, younger in audience. Now, the thing is with Spreadshirt, and a lot of people kind of get this confused, is it's not as young as an audience as a Redbubble, for example, okay? And that's really where things should be kind of thought of. I want you to look at the products on Redbubble and think about what's being sold there. And you can kind of imagine the age demographic. Now, obviously, you could look at some sort of software that tells you that, but a lot of the times these softwares are separated in age groups of like 18 to 24. Well, the idea of what a consumer would purchase at the age of 24 is drastically different, believe it or not, from what a person would buy at 18. If you just think about it yourself, when you were 18, did you have the same interest that you have at the age of 24? And then did you have the same at 36? The answer is no, absolutely not. But a lot of the times these age demographics kind of find it hard to tell. So Spreadshirt, I would say, is a good medium in terms of age groups between the Zazzle and the Redbubble. Redbubble is a little bit more younger of an age group. Spreadshirt, you're getting a little bit older. Zazzle is probably one of the oldest. Now, once again, Zazzle, if you look at a lot of their top-selling products and a lot of different things that's going on with Zazzle, you're looking at a lot of different special moments in life. You're looking at graduations, you're looking at the birth of a child, you're looking at wedding invitations, bridal showers, baby showers. These are a lot of different moments that, cost a lot of money. And a lot of the times the thing with Zazzle is there's a lot of emotional spending, right? When somebody's getting married, what do the people say? They say, we're only going to do this wedding once. We got to do it right. And they're going to splurge and they're going to buy things that, maybe not 100% might be needed, or they're extra, or you guys know what I'm talking about. So, when you kind of target those different categories on Zazzle, it creates a great opportunity. Now, with that being said, there's some people might comment and sit here and say, well, what's the best niche and what's the best category? If it's being sold on Zazzle, it's a great category. Point blank, period. Or it's a great product. The reason why is because Zazzle, as a manufacturer, as a warehouse, they're responsible for creating literally hundreds of different products on a daily basis. And they're not going to keep something in stock that does not make money. It does not sell. They're just simply not going to do that. So when you go out there and you create some designs, think of things that is more readily available to be bought in bulk. Okay? So with Zazzle, and I'll tell you guys this, the very first order I ever had on Zazzle was within 3 months, and it was my very first bulk order. I believe, I could be wrong, but it was 100 keychains. And this is where my point of view completely changed when it comes to success on Zazzle. The reason why I say this is because I started to say, how come all the other designs that I've been uploading haven't sold once, yet this design sold not only once, but it sold in bulk of 100 units? How come? I started to ask questions, I started to assess, hence why that's how the Zazzle course came to be, and the things that I learned and all these kind of things. And by the way, I'll leave that course link in the description if you feel like you want to try it out. With that being said, then I kind of started to understand that, hey, with Zazzle, you have much more room to acquire a bulk order sale than you do on Spreadshirt, than you do on TeePublic, than you do on Redbubble even. Now, don't get me wrong, on those other platforms, it's possible to get some sort of bulk order, but not like it is on Zazzle. In fact, if there was a platform ever to be designed for the bulk orders, Zazzle is more likely the case. Now, let's talk about customization. Even though both platforms you're allowed to customize products as a customer, where is it more likely to customize? The answer is Zazzle. It's much more likely that a consumer will go on Zazzle and customize a product through Zazzle than they will on Spreadshirt. A lot of the times you can get away with doing the design type of work to something on Spreadshirt. It's been a long day. Like, for example, if I go over here and this Love is Love shirt, or not shirt, design, right? On this tote bag, Love is Love. If I'm going to customize it, let's be 100% honest. How on earth am I going to customize this? What am I going to do? Am I going to write my name on it? Am I going to put a flower on it? Like, what am I going to do that's going to make this so different or so customizable? I'm not going to really do much to it. Maybe that's just my opinion, but it's not going to make a critical difference for me if I'm interested in this design, right? Or let's just use this design, for example. This the Vampire Chronicles, right? I wouldn't know what I can do to customize this to me personally. I don't know what Anne Rice is. Maybe you want to change up the name. I have no idea. But once again, I don't know what I would do to customize that. Maybe this section here, this design, mac and cheese. What am I going to do to customize this? This is on Spreadshirt. This is not on Zazzle, right? But with Zazzle, it's like almost the platform is made for customization. If I have a wedding invitation, wedding card, I'm going to customize things like the date, the location, and I'm going to buy all of them and I'm going to send them out to my family members or the friends, whoever I want to invite. So the point is with Zazzle, you can expect a lot more customization, therefore a lot more bulk order. With Spreadshirt, you could expect some customization, but that's only if you really try to go out of your way to create things that are readily available for customization. Like I said, there's less opportunity to customize on Spreadshirt just because the design is almost like full. It's almost complete. And these are very similar to the designs of like a Redbubble or a TeePublic. Now, don't get me wrong. Once again, the exception is not the rule. There are going to be certain designs that look great customized on Spreadshirt. The exception is not the rule. Most designs, or the majority of designs, are not customized. Now, with that being said, something that catches my attention with Spreadshirt, over 20 million items sold. So if you at this point have not yet sold anything on Spreadshirt, maybe it's a good chance to, try, dip your feet in the water, give it a shot. You never know really what guys you can be really, really good at. I'll talk to you guys about this before, but way before I started Redbubble, I thought Redbubble was just like a waste of time. I was like, why would I even do this? Let me stick to my blogging. Let me stick to this. Let me stick to that. And I was immature at the time. I didn't really think clearly because I should never, and this is a rule that I told myself, I'll never push away an income stream ever again, because you never know how good you can get at something, and you never know what the future holds. So why write something off from the start? Why push something away from the start? So give it a shot. You guys now are coming into the game of Spreadshirt and Zazzle a lot more aware of what to expect and what to know. Hopefully this video can cover the very basics. If you're a beginner and you're looking to get into one of these, maybe now you know a little bit more than maybe what you have not known before, right? Especially if you never tried these platforms out. If you have tried out these platforms, maybe you're looking for some help. Like I said, we have a Zazzle tagging course. If you need help with the tagging, which is really one of the most important aspects when it comes down to Zazzle, you can go to the autopilotpassiveincome.com, Zazzle tagging course. All the information is there. The course is $39.99 there for you if you want it. If you don't want it, great. Trust me, we're not pushing you or anything like that. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment down below. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Bye.